everyone, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I run here on youtube.com/UC Campbell. We're not going to go into other facets. We're going to go right into it. This video is actually going, it's not being live streamed like I typically do. That's what I say for the reviews, everything in that sense. I live stream them and then put them up, and then also put them up later. This one is going to be focusing around predictions for both NXT Takeover War Games and for WWE Survivor Series. I'm going to put them both into the same thing because it kind of just works out better that way, I think. At least I feel like it does on that side of it. So let's go right into it. We'll start with NXT Takeover War Games. This looks like a very interesting card. Again, it looks like one of those bits is like this show could be ho-hum, but I mean, they're doing War Games. And I'm going to date myself on this one. And even though War Games was still around during the bigger boom of like WCW and WWE or WWF at the time and Attitude Era, everything in that sense, not many people probably remember this match because they did different variations of it. Now, some people probably do know a variation of this match in more modern time, past the 2000s, everything in that sense, because WCW leaving, they were no longer doing War Games. In fact, the last one that they did, that they called War Games, was the Triple Cage with 9 guys. It was for the world title, and it wasn't that good. We'll just leave it at that. It wasn't that good. That was the one that Vince Russo won the title. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But the one that people are probably more familiar with, if you watched Total Nonstop Action or Impact Wrestling, whatever they call it now. I think it's back to Impact Wrestling again on that side of it. Their Lethal Lockdown match is kind of the closest thing to War Games that we've seen, where they have the cage surrounding the 6-sided or 4-sided ring, and they would and people would come in, and then they would lower the roof, and it would have weapons, everything in that sense. That's probably the closest thing we've seen to a War Games match, and that's what we're gonna get. But what we're gonna get to see is, I think, more of the classic War Games, because they said 2 rings, 1 cage. I don't know exactly what the rest of the rules are. I haven't read up on it yet. I know the old one was a team. Each member of the team starts out in the match, and then a new person comes in so often, and then the next person comes in. And one team's going to have the person advantage for the most part until everybody comes in, and then afterwards it was the first team member, not the whole team, but the first team member to just verbally submit, basically saying, I've had enough, I can't do this anymore, type of thing. So it'll be an interesting way to see how WWE's going to do it. This is their first time doing, well, basically the 2 rings, 1 cage, a War Games match. It'll be interesting to see how they play this one off. We get to see it at NXT Takeover. Let's get into the first matches. First up was Lars Sullivan going up against Cassius Ohno. First of all, I am very saddened that, unless, of course, it's filmed for later, that we will not get to see the Johnny Gargano-Pete Dunne match. I really hope they're filming that for NXT TV. At least that's how I feel. That's what I'm really hoping for. But we are getting Lars Sullivan, who's shown very impressive, been very impressive with the way they've been booking him and everything in that sense, leading into on NXT TV. No real feud between these guys. It was pretty much Cassius Ohno saying, hey, I want to try to prove myself and get back in the title picture, and I want Lars Sullivan. And William Regal's like, you've got Lars Sullivan. There we go. And we have a takeover match with Cassius Ohno and Lars Sullivan. Yeah, this is going to be one of those hard-hitting affairs. And Lars Sullivan's going over in this match. I don't foresee them having Cassius Ohno going over in this match. I feel like he's going to be that guy here who is, he's that guy who's going to help bring up new stars, everything in that sense. I think he's gotten to the point he's getting closer to what will be the end of his career, and he's probably looking to bring up newer guys. And that's what this match is going to essentially do. This is going to be a very hard-hitting match on both sides. I feel like Lars Sullivan goes over in this match. Up next, is the Velveteen Dream going up against Aleister Black. Oh boy, this has been a feud. This has been a very, very good feud. Just the way that they've been shooting certain spots, the thing that they did with Velveteen Dream showing up behind Aleister Black during his entrance was really well done. The aspect of Velveteen Dream just showing more than just being an overly flamboyant. He's got another layer. He's got more to him than just that, showing a very vicious side throughout the entire time. Basically, just angry over the fact that Aleister Black, in a promo, called him Patrick because his name's Patrick Clark. Refuses to refer to him as Velveteen Dream, and this is the aspect that that Velveteen Dream wants. He wants him to say his name in some way, shape, or form, and that is what that's what his whole goal is. Everything in that sense. I think they do get that in here. It's more out of a respect thing that it ends up happening in the end, and I do feel like Aleister Black goes over. This looks like to be a really good match. Actually, a lot of these, either by intrigue or just in general, feel like they're going to be very good matches going into this particular into the NXT Takeover show. So I feel like Aleister Black's going to go over, but we're also going to get the acknowledgement for Velveteen Dream as well. Now they could have Velveteen Dream go over, but I just don't know if they're going to have Aleister Black lose yet. Though I feel like he could take a loss inside this one, but I am still going with Aleister Black. So this leads me into the Fatal 4-Way for the vacant NXT Women's title. Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross. This is definitely an interesting one, a very interesting one. You have the dynamics with Peyton Royce. We'll probably have Billie Kay out there. Ember Moon getting another shot at the women's title. Same with Nikki Cross as well. And of course, Kairi Sane winning the Mae Young Classic. Each person basically earning their way into this match by winning some kind of match. Peyton Royce won a match over, I believe, Nikki Cross and Liv Morgan in their match, where Tyra Conti had basically distracted Nikki Cross enough to allow Peyton to get the victory. Ember Moon won in a triple threat match with Ruby Riott and Sonya Deville, and Nikki Cross got herself a second chance inside the Battle Royal based off of what had happened, and she ended up winning that Battle Royal. Kairi Sane, of course, won the Mae Young Classic. So each person earned their way into this particular fatal 4-way, and this could be I feel like this is a really good match. Just based off of the build that they've been going with, I feel like Nikki Cross is the victor here. Though I could see them putting it on Peyton Royce as well. Oddly enough, I don't see them putting it on Ember Moon, though Ember Moon is by far the person who has come closest to beating Asuka for that women's title. I don't think they're going to put it on her quite yet, and I don't feel like... Kairi Sane, in the terms of her character and everything, doesn't necessarily have the mystique that Asuka has, and doesn't necessarily need to get that title right away to go along with it. So I don't think they're going to put it on Kairi Sane quite yet, though I feel like they will do that somewhere down the line. But I feel like it's going on Nikki Cross here at this point in time. So Sanity's going to get another title to go along with everything. So this leads us into the NXT title match. Yes, I'm going to save the War Games match for last. Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almas. I feel like it's going to be a good match, but I don't feel like they're going to put Andrade over and give him the title. Especially where I feel like the actual storyline is going to end up going down the line with Drew McIntyre. So I basically am going to go off of, this is going to be a good match, but I feel like Drew McIntyre goes over. And there's really not much more to it. I don't know what they're going to do with Andrade Cien Almas, but I feel like this is going to be a good showing on all sides here. I feel like this will be a really good match. But Drew will be going over in this match. So, this leads us to that main event of the night, which is going to be the War Games match. Yes, 2 rings, 1 cage, old War Games show back up. I'm really happy, actually. I've seen a War Games match way back when. Yes, I date myself again by saying that I've watched an old War Games match live. But this one is going to be here, obviously here for the modern era. It'll be interesting to see. Like in WCW, you kind of got used to that look around Fall Brawl time. The two rings showing up there, and they would put the cage together, everything in that sense. It'll be weird to see it in a WWE light to go along with everything. So the War Games match, triple threat, basically 9 men, 3-on-3-on-3. So you have Sanity, you have the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Sanity with Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane, and then you have the Authors of Pain, Akam Razor, and Roderick Strong. I feel this is the time for Roderick Strong. Like, they teased him joining Undisputed Era, and I think that's truthfully him saying, yes, we're going to do this, that he's going to join in, but he's going to swerve the Authors of Pain. Yes, we're going to get a heel turn from Roderick Strong here, I feel like. And Undisputed Era is going to go over in this match. I don't know how, like I said, I haven't fully read up on the rules of it yet, of how WWE is going to do it. I don't know if they're going to add a pinfall stipulation. Usually it had always been a first person to verbally submit in the match would end it there. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be elimination style or if it's going to be a or if it's going to be with a pinfall or submissions or like I'll have to read up onto it. I'll read up onto it before I go into the NXT Takeover. But I feel like Undisputed Era is going to go over here, and they're going to get a new member with Roderick Strong. So with the NXT Takeover predictions done, not out of the way, just done. We're going to go into the Survivor Series predictions. And I am filming this on a Wednesday night. They have not announced any other matches going into the show. We only have the one kickoff show match, at least at this point in time that I know of, which is Enzo Amore going up against Kalisto for the Cruiserweight title. I've got Enzo Amore going over in this one. Really not much to this to talk about. It's the only match of the night so far that they've made that's not going to be like a Raw versus SmackDown thing. And I got Enzo keeping the Cruiserweight title in this one. Up next, I've got The Miz versus Baron Corbin. So we're going right into the main card matches here. Miz and Baron Corbin, U.S. title versus the Intercontinental title. And you know, when looking at this one, first of all, I found this match intriguing based off of their promos. This is one of those few times that a heel versus heel match kind of is like garnering that heat, and you kind of want to see it. You know, you really want to see it in the end, in the end of things. Both of them kind of been running down each other throughout the entire time, taking some jabs at real life, everything to go along with it. So it was actually, when looking at it, I was like, it's actually hard to pick this match. It's really hard to pick this match. Actually, for a couple of other reasons, there are some of these other matches are actually kind of hard to pick as well to go along with it. But I'm going to go out on a limb here that they are going to put Baron Corbin over in this match. They're going to put him over, and they're going to make him feel like a bigger deal and make the U.S. title feel like a bigger deal. Like Miz makes the Intercontinental title feel like a huge deal. So they want to try to do that again with the United States title. So doing that here and putting Baron Corbin over might help that out just a little bit in that sense, as I got a very itchy nose right now. On that side. So I am going to go with Baron Corbin in this match. So this is going to lead us into the Team Raw for the women's side versus Team SmackDown women's side. So the first 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match, I'm going to be going with actually Team Raw on this one. I'm going to stick with that one. This one, the more I looked at it, especially after Tuesday, left it open to interpretation, but I'm going to stick with Team Raw, mostly because of Asuka. Playing off of that one. Like, the thing that they're kind of playing with it right now is that, they don't have a fifth member to Team SmackDown yet. They could add Paige. They could just make it Natalya. So, like, if they decide to bring back Paige, first of all, it would make it feel weird that Paige would make her return and just lose. In that sense. So, if that ends up happening, there's definitely a chance for Team SmackDown to win. And there's a way of, writing Asuka off without losing the undefeated streak by just having her get DQ'd or counted out. Something in that sense. Something that doesn't cause a pinfall or submission to go along with it. But I'm going to stick with Team Raw on this one because we don't know who the fifth member is. There's a chance that it's Paige. There's a chance that Paige just goes over to Monday Night Raw as well to go along with it when she comes back. And they could just have Natalya go into this match on that side of everything. And it's just one of those things. After Tuesday, it was left more to interpretation on that side of it. It didn't seem so clear cut that, hey, maybe Team SmackDown actually has a chance, or like leading into Tuesday initially, it's pretty clear cut that Team Raw is going over at that point. But now they leave it a little bit more open to interpretation. So this leads us into the second of the on the women's side, which is going to be Alexa Bliss going up against Charlotte. And actually, with Charlotte now gaining the women's title on Tuesday, so it got changed from Natalya and Alexa Bliss to Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss. I have Charlotte going over in this one. Depending, like, the way I'm doing this, the way I'm doing the show right now, I've talked about their Survivor Series, the Survivor Series elimination match for the women's side. And now I'm talking about this. Now, depending on where they put it on the card, I could really see them doing a cash-in on Survivor Series. Now, they could leave it open to interpretation on a lot of different things here. Because technically, I don't know if they said when Carmella won the Money in the Bank contract that it was just for the SmackDown Women's title. There's a chance that she could cash in on Alexa Bliss. But I feel like Charlotte goes over in this match, and then they're going to lead into something with Carmella and Charlotte. And Carmella cashes in that night, either by something where she basically runs in as Charlotte is celebrating or something on that side, or maybe Charlotte's been beaten down pretty badly in the match to go along with it. It'll be an interesting way to see that they go off with. And I am thinking that it is now time more than ever maybe to get that cash in to happen, especially with how wildly over, yes, we know it was Charlotte's hometown, everything in that sense, but how wildly over she was when she won the title, everything to go along with it. I think it would be a good way to get some heat back on Carmella, to have her cash in and win the women's title on Survivor Series to go along with it. I feel like that's where they're going to go with it. I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. So this leads us into the match with The Shield and The New Day. I'm happy. First of all, I'm happy. I'm glad that we get to see this match in any way, shape, or form. It's a very intriguing match between two sets of trio teams that have been very dominant and very influential in the terms of the tag divisions, everything in that sense, or just in WWE in general. And we get to see this match now between them. I feel like Shield goes over, but this is going to just be an entertaining match. Just straight up, this is going to be entertaining. I feel the Shield goes over because I don't feel like they're going to have Roman really lose a match, even if it isn't a six-man tag on a pay-per-view. I feel like they'll have them go over in that side of everything. I don't see either team being able to really lose steam by losing a match like this. It's just going to be... like, all sides are going to probably look good in this match, and I think it's just going to come off as a really, really good match. But I do have the Shield going over in this one. So this leads us now to the Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Usos match. Initially, this was Rollins and Ambrose going up against the Usos. Glad for the change again for that one, so we get that 6-man tag. This match actually seems very interesting as well. Initially, you think it's heel versus heel, but it's more heel with Cesaro and Sheamus versus tweeners with the Usos, because they're kind of just like you see it with the Usos now. They kind of are above the whole thing, the whole aspect of what is it? The whole aspect of the heel face spectrum. They're kind of just them now in that sense of everything. And I do have the Usos actually going over in this match. I'm taking a look at this one. I have SmackDown winning, Raw winning, then SmackDown winning, then Raw winning, and then SmackDown winning to go along with it. So there's a few more matches down the line here. And it's going to be definitely interesting to see where everything goes. This is also a very entertaining match, I think, to go along with it. Like, this card just, it looks really good. It looks really good right now. And it leads into the potential of having a really good show of everything kind of just works to go along with it. So we are now going to go into the second 5-on-5 elimination match. Team SmackDown men, Team Raw men to go along with everything. And this one's had some twists and turns as well. It's initially you're looking at maybe like Rusev or Kevin Owens being the 5th member of Team SmackDown, and then AJ Styles wins the WWE title, and John Cena is no longer being rumored to be guest referee for the title versus title match, or the champion versus champion match with Lesnar and Mahal. And now it's Lesnar and AJ, and it's like, no, we're not gonna have that guest referee now. Cena's gonna be on Team SmackDown. So on Raw, Jason Jordan they play an injury angle with Jason Jordan, so he's off the team. Triple H comes in, pedigrees Jason Jordan, and he's the 5th member of the team now. And you have, so basically on Raw side, you have Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Triple H. That's a good looking team too. That's a good looking team right there. On SmackDown side, you have Shane McMahon, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura. You have Randy Orton. I almost forgot Randy Orton for a brief moment. And John Cena. So that's looking like a really good match. And it's very hard to pick who I feel like is going to win this match. On the basically on the sides of, it's like I said, it's really hard to want to figure out who's winning. I won't say figure out who's winning this match, but it's really hard to tell who's going to win this one. And it feels like it's going to be something that's extremely, it has the potential for being extremely overbooked. Because you have the aspect of Rusev being left out, so maybe he gets involved against Team SmackDown. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, like, it's screaming that these guys are going to get involved in this match in some way, shape, or form. Does Jason Jordan get involved in this match now as well? Like, it has the potential of being booked just as massive chaos going on in this match. And oddly enough, when I came down with it, and I don't know why, when I came down to everything, because I don't foresee Triple H turning on Team Raw in any way here, even against Kurt Angle, because of the way that Stephanie McMahon kind of plays off of the importance of winning this match for Raw and everything and that on that side of it. So I don't see Triple H turning on Kurt, costing them the match, because, well, his wife on that side of it. Though it does feel like it will lead into something with Triple H and Kurt Angle somewhere down the line as well. Maybe they have it where Kurt's like, I'm just fed up with this. I'm not going to be Raw general manager anymore, and just turns on all of them to go along with it. Or maybe that's where he turns on Triple H or something like that. But I am going with Team SmackDown on this one. Yes, I do expect Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to cost Team SmackDown in some way, shape, or form, but I don't feel like it ends up costing them the match in the end. So I'm going with Team SmackDown on this one. This was another hard one to pick as well. Some of these were actually really hard to pick in the end. Some of these were a little bit easier. And this final match was one of those that I feel like is a little bit easier to pick. Though I'm very intrigued to see the match. AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. I'm going with Brock. I don't feel like they're going to have Brock Lesnar lose. It just depends on what we're going to get. What are we going to get from Brock Lesnar? The way Paul Heyman puts over AJ Styles, everything in that sense, makes you feel like, oh, maybe since Heyman really likes AJ, maybe Brock comes out and gives a bigger performance than what he typically does in every sense of the word. Or is it just going to be one of those typical Brock Lesnar suplex, F5, and we're done type matches? Like, it'll be intriguing to see which one we get. I feel like Brock goes over. I'm hoping we get that very intriguing style match that, puts AJ Styles over, but he just falls up short in the end to go along with it. But like I said, since they switched the match, I was actually kind of intrigued to see what they were going to do with Jinder Mahal and Brock Lesnar. But once they changed it, it's like, oh, it's going to be AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar. I was like, you have my attention. You have my attention now. Very much so, because this is a very intriguing match, and I want to see this as well. More so than the Jinder Mahal match to go along with it. I'm not going to be one that's going to be a downer about Jinder Mahal's title run. I thought it was pretty good to its own certain extent. I get why they did it, and it's kind of just it's an interesting story about where Jinder Mahal was, and that the company ended up entrusting them in this whole aspect of them expanding into India. So that it wasn't one of those like, oh, we're going to expand into India. We're just going to send John Cena, this or that. No, we're going to get somebody that can try to represent to them. And they trusted that in him. And he wasn't bad on the microphone. I wasn't too keen on some of the stuff that they did with Shinsuke Nakamura with him. The matches, well, the Punjabi Prison match, let's be completely honest, was bad. But the matches with Randy Orton were okay. The matches with Shinsuke Nakamura were just okay. His match with AJ Styles I thought was really good. And AJ ended up winning the title in that one. But I thought it was a really good match to go along with it. So you did get a good match out of that run in some way, shape, or form. It was just the match that ended the run to go along with it. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jinder Mahal down the line. I feel like Jinder Mahal could get involved in this match. I don't know if that's what they're going to end up doing. But I feel like you could see him get involved in this match in some way, shape, or form as well to cost AJ Styles or something like that. So we'll see how everything goes. I do have Brock Lesnar in this match. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for everything here. We've gone through NXT TakeOver. We've gone over Survivor Series in the terms of my predictions. Both shows look good now. I'm not going to lie on this one. Both shows look like they're extremely enjoyable. And that they have the potential of being... This is one of those times that Survivor Series looks like it could be on par, if not better than the NXT show. The NXT show is kind of always delivered in its in-ring side, but their builds sometimes have been lackluster. I've liked the build towards both shows, especially with kind of just the unpredictable nature of Survivor Series. It's like, oh, it looks like we're getting these matches. Title changes here. Just throw title changes differently and made it feel unpredictable going into the show itself. So... And of course, having SmackDown invade right off the bat, and then Raw kind of waiting to invade until the go-home show came off really good as well. So with that being said, that's pretty much everything I got for you guys. Like I said, it looks like it's going to be two very intriguing shows going into this weekend. I'm hoping to do live reactions for both of them. I don't know if it's going to be the case. I do have a very hectic work weekend coming up, potentially, on that side of everything. So it looks like it could be very heavy on my work side. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do live reactions or even be able to watch either one of these shows live. So we'll see how that ends up going. I do plan on doing reviews for both shows after the fact when I have watched them. I'm hoping to have watched them live and done live reactions for both of them to go along with it. So yeah, that's basically everything I've got for you guys. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy the content coming to you guys. I do at least plan on doing reviews for both these shows. I'm hoping to have live reactions to go along with it. And again, guys, I thank you guys for watching and have a great day.